Episode 9 of the On the Air podcast starring you and today's guest. From Queens, New York hip-hop enthusiast, extreme Nas and Lil Kim and Wu-Tang supporter, just ask her pet cat, Ghostface Lena. She's an event planner and does tons of travel. Please welcome Dee. All right, so welcome to the show. Today we got Queens in the building. The homie D, what's going on?
I'm good. What's up with you?
Not much, just hanging in there, just hanging in. I want to, before we get into what we're going to talk about today, I want to get into a couple of reviews. I said that, like I said before, that I was going to do a couple of reviews every episode. First thing I'm going to review is carnaldish.com. So you guys follow the owner of that site. That's Kanye Breast on Twitter. Her name is Risha. I recently purchased some, I think they were these lemon berry cookies. Actually, it was a minute ago, so I should have did this review. And they were delicious. They were flavor rich. She's really sweet. I want you guys to definitely look her site up and see if you can find something, because she's kind of like the health guru of our timeline. A real inspiration. She lost a tremendous amount of weight, is in great shape. So I definitely trust her recipes and her insights on that. And the next thing that I'm going to look at is our iTunes reviews. So you guys have started leaving reviews on iTunes, and your 5-star reviews, they are appreciated. So I'm going to just go back and start from the first one. This one comes from Jim J. I think that's Jim of the Ocean on Twitter. That is her. And so she's reviewing the first episode, and she says, dope inaugural episode of the podcast with smooth order. The style of the podcast is fun and somewhat informal, making a great space for folks we think we know via their social media presence to share in-depth experiences and perspectives in an authentic way. And she says she looks forward to more guests and stories. So we appreciate that over here at the OTAP show. That was awesome. I appreciate that.
That was nice.
Yeah. Do you have anything that you want to review or that you've recently done or anything like that?
Not really, but here's a general review.
Okay.
Since you started off with food, which is my favorite subject. Farmers market.
Okay.
Everyone should go to the farmers market. You can get fresh vegetables for cheap. You can get cooked food as well. They're really good. And usually they have like organic foods and whatnot. And I go every Sunday so I can get hummus, because I'm addicted to hummus, and I don't care who doesn't like hummus. I love it.
That's great. You know, that's awesome, because I remember when I first started getting on the health food kick, I went to Whole Foods, because I was like, well, I pass them all the time. Whole Foods is great, but Whole Foods is expensive.
Then, it's the most expensive.
Exactly. And then I kind of went down to Trader Joe's, which was cheap, but then someone was telling me, well, their food is not all that great, so now I'm kind of confused. But the farmer's market is cool. Like, I needed an aloe leaf, and you can get like these huge, like 2-3 foot aloe leaves for like $3. So that was so that's good.
Super cheap.
Wu-Tang in the building. Wu-Tang.
That's right. And Mobb Deep. Let's not forget about that.
And Mobb Deep. All things New York. All things New York. You know what?
Exactly.
I was
all day.
I was just thinking like earlier, like on 36 Chambers, Cream, like at the beginning, where Method Man is trying to like do the hook, but Raekwon keeps interrupting him. Like like he's like Cash rules everything around me. Cream and then Raekwon just interrupts him again, like talking about like 2 for 5. 2 for 5. Like they,
I say all those ad-libs.
You say you do the interruption too?
Yeah, you got to.
And then
it's on the song, it's part of history.
And then he I guess he kinda like gets fed up, and he just kinda just goes for the gusto. He's like, Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar bills, y'all. Then he goes into it. Unless
I'm mad you just thought about this in 2015.
yo, let me give you something. Let me give you something worse than that. So about maybe 3 years ago, maybe four, and I'm probably saying maybe four because I'm just trying to make it seem like a long time ago. But around 3 years ago, around 3 years ago is when I kind of learned what cream meant. Now I know
Oh
it's
my God. Who needs it? I mean, oh my God. Just, let's move on.
all right. So
I cannot with this.
let me tell you. All right. So I mean, if you think about like around that time when it came out, a lot of people just they would in their song titles. I guess they were presented like an acronym, but it didn't really mean anything. Now, granted, he does say it in the song like cash rules everything around, but I wasn't thinking about that. Then one day, I think I was cleaning up, and it was just like,
It's the whole entire hook.
all right, so I know that now, and I'm up to speed. Listen,
I can't.
I'm not proud of that moment. I'm not proud of
You
that at
should
all.
not be.
Oh, let me tell
Nope.
you. Let me tell you what else I learned that year because apparently that was a big year in hip hop for me. Eminem, I kind of realized what his name meant. Like I would just say it, but it's like Eminem. It's like two M's. Marshall
Oh my
Mathers.
God.
Did
Yeah.
you know that? Did you know that?
Yes, I did.
Hey, don't be coming on my show clowning me.
You are funny. You're gonna have to like take a whole nother day to talk about what you don't know.
I mean, pops always say the more you know you don't know. So
This is true.
speaking of
But
pops,
I'm mad you didn't know what cream stood for.
well, I mean, I know now. Like I was just happy to hear the song. All right, Wu Tang, Killer Bees, Shaolin, all day. Do you remember Do you remember the first time you heard a Nas track or Mobb Deep or Wu Tang or Jay Z or Kim?
Um, but the first time I heard something from Little Kim, let me see. I want to say it was the Players Kingdom, the Junior Mafia,
Oh yeah.
and it was just like, who is this chick? Wait, what is she talking about? And we just got mad hype, like, yo, this is what's up. And I was just like, yo, that's my girl, the end. I got to stalk her. I got to figure out, like, what she was about. Then I figured out what she was about, and I was like, all right, I can't stalk her too much because she's nasty.
I know this is
But I really, really liked her.
that's dope. I know this might be kind of an out there question, but did you happen to go to school with any of them?
No,
No.
no, I didn't go to school with any of them.
Oh, okay.
So the people I went to school with that I knew were from Ghostwriter.
Oh, you what like?
And you probably don't even remember that.
Wait. If you talking about what I think you talking about the show where the little like the ball that will flash different colors with right words and shit on
Yes.
PBS. Yo.
Yeah. Well, I went to school with Khalees, too.
Okay.
She was in my grade. She was in my school. But, like, as far as people that went to school with me that I saw every single day that I actually talked to, yeah, in high school. Ghostwriter.
So-
Dexter,
so, wait.
from high school.
Did them kids have like the most perfect handwriting ever on that show?
Not in real life. Not in real life. I don't even remember that show too much, to be honest with you. But
No.
when I got to high school, I was like, yo, that's Hector from Ghostwriter.
I remember the show because I used to watch it at home, but they would like play it like in class. So for those listening that don't remember the show, it was kind of like this. I guess you could say it was like a crime. I don't want to say crime, but like a detective show kind of where like these things would happen and the little ghostwriter dude would come by and he could only communicate like with written text or words. And so in order for him to understand and try to help them figure it out, they had to write it down and it was wild. Like
It was dumb when you think about it.
now that I just actually said all that out loud, Yeah, yeah. It kind of
So we
was.
liked it.
Yeah, we did. Like I was trying to really um, explain it in a way that made sense, but I can't.
Because it doesn't make sense.
it it
Period.
it doesn't. All right, so let's get into what we're going to get into today. So we both travel a
Okay.
lot. We both travel a lot.
Yes.
And so I was talking with someone not long ago, and they were saying you should do a show on travel or tips. Anything I can do to try to help save people money or make things more convenient for them. I'm all about. So let's start off with you traveling. What has you traveling so much?
Okay. Well, I am officially a meeting planner. So that would also be known as like a corporate event planner, a conference planner, all sorts of titles,
Mm-hmm.
culminating in being an event planner. So I work for, well, different companies I've worked for in the past, but pretty much my job has me traveling all over the country. This job that I have me traveling outside of the country, but all to plan events. So there
What
it is.
like what type of events? Like what are the range?
Okay, well, for a meeting planner, most of the events that you would do, like in that profession, would be for corporations, associations, companies like that. So pretty much what I'm in charge of doing is planning, producing, and executing large-scale events for a specific company. So my events, I used to plan events for 4,000, 5,000 people.
Mm.
I just switched jobs, so now my events have gotten a little bit smaller. I think the largest one that I'll be planning would be for 2,000 people, but I'll be planning way more events than I have to plan yearly in the past. So I think I'll be doing, between like 8 and 12 events overall and like 4 really big events. So, what I do in my job, I choose the meeting locations,
Mm-hmm.
which that is the main reason why I'm going all over the country a lot, to go to different hotels and to go to different cities to see what they do, to see how they are, to see, if people would actually want to come. Do they have things for people to see, people to do, or things for people to do?
Mm-hmm.
And, when I choose these locations, I then would arrange transportation, do the catering, work with the rental companies, florists, all details for the event. So, like, while I'm in the office, I mainly work with upper management to understand the scope of the event, the purpose of the event, come up with a timeline on how to execute the events. Then I would develop a budget.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, I'm working on the budget. It is $2.2 million,
Hmm.
and we only have about 1,700 people coming. But within that event, it's going to be a huge event. So the food alone is going to come up to about $700,000 just in the spread that we'll be providing. So I come up with developing a budget, putting together the marketing plan, working with the web team to get the website up and running. I'll put together the registration portal, the invitations, the content. When you go to a conference and you see a speaker speaking on whatever subject, I would be the one to either pick the speaker or have a hand in choosing the speakers, and I would negotiate rates with them because most speakers are paid, coordinate their travel and whatever else needs to happen for them. That would be for about, let's say, my last company was like 150 speakers because we had
Wow.
150 different. Yeah. And so in addition to that, I would also be doing this for everyone that's coming to the event. For the 4,000 other people that are attending, I would make sure that I would work with the airlines to provide discounts, work with the hotels to negotiate the rates, and, you get updated weekly from hotels to tell me how many people have booked rooms, who has booked. I want to know what type of rooms they booked, who's getting suites, who's getting regular rooms, etc. The food and beverages, working on how much we'll have, negotiate rates on those. I mean, like a can of soda is $7. $7. That's
Whoa.
ridiculous. You can go
Wow.
outside and you can get a
Exactly.
piece of soda for 75 cents.
Exactly.
So I would be that person where you're walking up at a conference and you're drinking a soda. I'll be in the background staring at you put that soda down half drink. I'm like, yo, I just paid $7 for that soda. But pretty much, like that's what I do. Just make sure everything runs smoothly, put everything together, work with security, work with just every single thing that most people don't think of. You don't think of all the stuff that has to go into putting an event together. So from the largest thing, which would be the budget, to the smallest thing, which would be printing badges. Like you can't get into your sessions if you don't have a badge. Well, I worked on that, the Friday before we came to the conference.
Right.
So we could have 4,000 badges printed. So yeah, overall, that's my job in a nutshell.
So everything has to, in order for everything to move smoothly, everything has to happen in a sequence and everything has to happen in
Yeah.
that specific order. Now I understand why, even like I guess in your personal life, you kind of operate off that plan. Like you plan and you put things together in that sequence so that it
Yeah.
moves smoothly. That makes sense now.
Now you understand why I am crazy about, my calendar and what time are we going to do it. I need specifics so I know exactly what's going to happen and when. I do not like surprises.
Yeah, because when we were trying to plan this interview, you definitely gave me the let me check my calendar. You definitely gave me that. You definitely hit me with that, and I was like, dang, me and D, we go way back. I got to check the calendar.
Yeah, and it isn't one of those like, oh, I'm so busy that I can't fit you in. It's just more like everything that I do is very structured. So, and I don't like people to tell me that they're going to be there at this time and that they're not there at that time because in my head, like, just like you said, you can understand how everything has to go in sequence. Well, that's how I think. I think in a timeline. Wake up at this time, do this, do this, do this, do this. And when things don't happen within my timeline in my head, that's when I'm like, okay, wait a minute. It's time.
I think that's a valuable point because a lot of you're not the only one, like a person that's like, let me check my calendar or let me see what I have. It's not that you're trying to blow them off. It's more actually the opposite. You're trying to fit them in, and that's just how your life works.
Yeah.
And for someone that, like,
Yeah.
for me, like I find it hard to plan because when I plan, I just don't like the disappointment of it not going through. You know me and you, I didn't take it personal, but there are some people that probably would. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's a good perspective.
Yeah, I'm very much a stickler for let me know what day and what time, because if not, I might not make it.
Let me ask you. Let me ask you. Is it so? That's a lot that you just talked about that you do in your job. Is it a
Yeah.
team of you on like one? Like for instance, let's say there's an event. I'll just throw a company out there. Let's say Microsoft is throwing an event, and you are in charge of that. Finding the location, the food, and all of that. Is it a team of you, or is it just you assigned to that project, or do you have people under you that you send out to do that? Like, how does that work?
Well, I've worked in this capacity for about 10 years now, so I've had different companies. The one I'm at now, it's just me, but the one that I was at previously, I had an assistant, and then I had interns. And I always talk on Twitter about my interns because interns are a whole other breed of people sometimes. They will stress me out, but they were very helpful, because it is a lot that you have to do in this capacity. So I did have people that were under me and, just kind of give them assignments. My assistant, I used to have her doing all of the housing. So she would take care of like all the hotel stuff. So I wouldn't have to think about, how many people have booked the room where our event is in October and it's August. We want to know how many people have booked because by August we want this place to be almost full. Like that's just how it is. when you have the event, you want it to be almost full, like 2 months before the event happens. And, if it's not full, then we have to figure out what type of marketing strategies we want. So I would have her in charge of that. I would have the interns in charge of the little stuff. I would have them doing, like, within the large event, we'd have, like, an art showcase. Where we would go to schools around the country and say, hey, schools, special needs schools in particular, and be like, hey, do you have artists at your school that you would like to showcase?
Oh, that's
We'll
amazing.
showcase them at our conference. Yeah, because I worked for an organization that was more of a special needs type of organization. So we would get, hundreds of pieces of art from kids. I mean, ranging from pictures to sculptures. So I have the interns. You guys are in charge of that. I don't want to see a piece of art until I get to the hotel. I want you to just take full ownership of this whole art program. But then overall, I would be in charge of everything, to make sure that everything's running smoothly. But I would work with, like, the speakers and just a lot. But I did have people under me. So right now, I don't have people under me. So it is forcing me to be a little more proactive with things. Whereas before, I had a timeline of, things that would kind of be able to, I could do things a little later because I had people under me. So they were working on certain other things, and I didn't have to worry about things. So now I'm kind of trying to do everything up front, closer. Like, I have an event that's coming up in October. Let's say for, like, the food and beverages, I usually would do that in, like, September. But now I'm like, okay, I'm going to start working on that in July so that by the time September comes, I don't have to stress trying to figure out, putting together a menu for 30 different events that is going to equal $750,000, and I have to do this in 2 days in September. So things are just kind of structured a little differently for me now.
Do you prefer to work with a team, or do you prefer to handle all this on your own?
No, I like working with a team. I'm a people person, so, like, I need a team around. I mean, I definitely miss my assistant. I miss my interns. I used to just joke with them all day and, have that's what she said jokes all day. It's just easier to have, like, people around that you can just laugh with. And their planners are generally jovial and funny. So, it's really cool to have people around. So working with, like, alone on this type of stuff is pretty hard because you don't have anyone to bounce ideas off of, like marketing stuff. I'm like, what should I do? Does this logo look good? Does that one look good? Who am I going to bounce these ideas off of, So, I mean, I have coworkers that I go to, like, look, you're going to have to be an event planner for a second because I need your input. But definitely working with a team is easier.
Are there any events that you've planned in the past that, like, they were major events that we, the public, might know about that we didn't know you were behind? If you're at liberty to say.
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, I wouldn't say it anyway, just because I don't want people to know where I work like that.
Right.
But no. I mean, a lot of things that I've done that people wouldn't really know that it was me. But I did a lot of congressional briefings in the past. There's probably like 4 people on like my Twitter timeline that even care about politics and whatnot. But that would be the only thing that would be like for public consumption. Everything else is pretty much working within these associations and organizations planning their annual conferences. I haven't stepped out into like the broad event planning world. I've really been just working for associations because a long time ago I made a promise to myself that I just wanted to work places that actually did stuff for people. So I don't work for like a corporate America type of thing where we're making a bunch of money and not giving back. Everyone that I work for is something that's giving back.
That's great. I'm proud to be associated with someone that's the stand that they take, because I think we need more of that. And I think those companies need more of our support. So so thank you for that. when you go to
Definitely.
when you go to these hotels, do they kind of like when you're scoping it out? Do they kind of know who you
Mhm.
are or the company?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I have a lot of friends that are in the music industry, and I often tell them, I'm not impressed by you telling me that you stayed in a suite at a hotel. Because when I arrive at hotels, they not only know who I am, but they're rolling out the red carpet, literally and figuratively. When I went to the Chicago Hilton, they literally had a red carpet, and they sent a limo to pick us up from the airport. And when we got to the hotel, they had all of their banquet staff and a bunch of their staff standing outside on either side of the red carpet, clapping while we walked in. And I
Okay.
was like, what is happening?
So
I
so
don't understand. But the reason is just because we're bringing millions of dollars into the hotel and into the city. So when you're bringing thousands of people to one place, and let's say meals are an average of $15 per person, and that's like at a cheaper hotel. And they're staying 5 days. Well, we are the bottom of your hotel, so they treat us as such.
So let's go into the hotel tips and secrets and things like that. So you've seen a lot, like you said. When someone tells you they stayed this week, you're not really impressed by it. When you get to these
Yeah.
hotels and you have certain things that you're looking for, and you've seen the best of what they have to offer, what impresses you now from a hotel? Like when they're trying to sell you on their property, what gets you like, you know what, I can go with this.
Well, I mean, for me, I kind of try to think more as an attendee. So sometimes, what the attendee from my conference would need is not something that like the average Joe Schmo would need. Like I said, I used to work for like a special needs company, so association. Um, so when I would go into a hotel, the first thing that I would look for is how friendly the employees were. Like they needed to be extremely friendly because you have people that will be coming in that, get confused very easily to ask a lot of questions. They might not look, in a certain way that everyday people would look. I mean, I don't know how else to kind of say that, but
Yeah.
some look different. And I need to know that the employees of that hotel will act accordingly and will act very friendly and not only treat them like they treat other people, but I want you to treat them better. And I have to see that as soon as I walk into the hotel. Besides that, how they act when you ask for special concessions, I'll say. I think I told you before in a private conversation that my biggest thing is if they don't have a refrigerator or a microwave, I ask for it. And whatever their answer is, whatever
Oh
they say,
man.
that's where I'm going to be like, okay, all right, that'll be make or break for me. If you tell me that you can't get me a microwave, you're lying. I know you have microwaves. Every hotel has microwaves. And they are for people that are staying in hotels. You can tell me that they cost an extra amount, but if you say you don't have them, period, well, you don't have me, period.
That
You're not going to get this business.
that is so simple. Like I was in Phoenix and I was staying at a hotel and I was in a nice size suite. It was really nice. And when I went in there, I'm looking around. They didn't have a refrigerator. So I'm looking like because the suite is so big. I'm like, all right, well, clearly there's a mini fridge in here somewhere. So I'm looking in like
Yeah.
corners. I'm looking in corners, trying to like maybe I missed it. So I'm like, well, maybe I didn't open that little door. Maybe it's and it wasn't there. Now, when I called them and asked them for it, they brought it up. But like this, I don't know if the dude just didn't feel like doing it. Like I was unimpressed with how they did it because the way they sat it like clearly in an area where you know they brought it. But I'm like, there's an area you could fit this in. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to just kind of
Mm-hmm.
like it looked out of place. Like I would have rather not seen it. But yeah, that
Yeah. Vegetable things like that, that's really important.
mm-hmm.
That's really important. I mean, you're a paying customer at this hotel, and if the least that they can do is bring a refrigerator to your hotel room and put it under a cabinet or whatever, like put it away somewhere so
Yeah.
that your room looks just as pristine as when you got in it in the first place.
Yep.
So there's little things like that that I am just a stickler for. That I'm like, okay, well, that's nice. I'm so happy you give me a free room to stay so I can check your hotel out. But don't call me. I'll call you. You know? I can't go for stuff like that.
What sort of tips or secrets have you learned that you can share with the average consumer that they might not know when they go to a hotel?
Well, one, like hotels really try to do anything for you.
Yep.
Like whatever you need, they really can get it for you. I say that where was that? Oh, I was at the W Hotel last month, and I needed scissors. Okay, something really, really stupid. I was trying to do something for work, and I didn't have any scissors. Call the front desk. Hey, you guys have any scissors I can borrow? And they brought it right up. Like, people don't realize that, little things that you're like, oh my God, I forgot my shower gel, or I forgot the razor, or whatever the case is. You don't have to go downstairs and go to the hotel gift shop and pay $8. You can call the front desk. You can go down to the concierge and ask them anything. They try to do anything for you. And I'm not talking from like a meeting planner standpoint where, they're trying to get my business, so they would do anything. No. This is a regular, everyday Joe Schmo. Whatever you need, either they can get it for you or they can direct you to a point where you can get it. So you don't have to run around the world trying to figure out, like, oh my God, I can't. I wanted to mail my mom a postcard with the post office. Just little stuff that people don't think about until it happens, and then you're like, oh my God, wait, what do I do? Like, some people lose their wallet. You lose your wallet, you lose your ID, you don't know what to do. The hotel can help you. You just have to go downstairs and ask them. Just anything, things like that. That's like the biggest tip that I can give, because a lot of people don't realize, you'll like run around looking for a Walgreens because you need some flip flops or something. There's just certain things that you can simply pick up your hotel phone and call and see what they can do for you.
That was pretty much everything that I would have said too. I was going to say one of the things that stands out to me the most about a hotel, aside from being friendly in the customer service, but if they kind of remember who I am, or can they know my name and they can recognize me, they speak to that goes a long way. That goes a real long way with me. When they say, hey Corey, you were, something like that. So that's I really appreciate that. Like there's a hotel when I go to Phoenix, there's two that I usually struggle between, and I usually opt for one of the SPG hotels to start with because I like their loyalty program. But there's this other, it's a smaller Marriott. It's like a Town Place Suites that I'll go there because while it's a smaller hotel, and of course it's a Marriott, and I say smaller in comparison to the SPGs, they recognize me. They remember and I'm not saying you need to remember what I did the last time, but they'll remember that they'll ask about things, and they go above and beyond. And
they make you feel like you're part of the family.
Exactly. And if I choose them over someone else, it's strictly because of that. Like, I can overlook a lot of things because of that, because I know that they'll try to do their best to make it right.
And that's pretty much what hotels are supposed to do. You know what I mean? Especially for Marriott. I don't like Marriott. We already got into this. But I don't like them for my own personal event planning reasons. But to stay in a Marriott, their rooms are nice, but their whole model is based on making people feel like they're part of the Marriott family. So I think they do a good job with that. And, you're a testament to that pretty much.
What are some of your favorite hotel chains or brands?
My favorite favorite. Well, my absolute favorite in the country would be the Swan and Dolphin Hotel in Disney World.
Okay.
It is just beautiful. It's beautiful property. I mean, I'm not a big Disney World person. I've been there several times only because we've done events out there. But this hotel is different. Both, they're two different sides. So one is called the Swan and one is called the Dolphin. It's a different property, but they're owned by Starwood. So one side, which is the Dolphin side, is a Sheraton hotel. And the other side, the Swan, is a Westin hotel. So this is what makes this hotel unique, because you have two different hotel sites on one property. And I don't know about, like, how many people out there have experienced Westins, but I love Westin hotels because they have these beds called the Heavenly Beds.
Yes.
They are
Yes.
so super comfortable.
Yes. The
Yeah.
heavenly bed. Yeah.
Yeah. And they sell them too, by the way.
Really?
So that's another little hotel tip for you guys. Yeah, anything that's like in a hotel room, they sell. They have a catalog that they don't tell anyone about until you start asking around. They
Wow.
sell everything. So the West End sells their heavenly beds, but this girl can't afford it right now. But I will. I want one of those beds. But this is why I love the Swan and Dolphin. I mean, for kids, they have the Disney character breakfast and the dinners and discount tickets and a big old water slide and a waterfall. And, you know, for adults, it's right on the property of Epcot Center. So you literally walk outside and you're on Epcot. And Epcot is the more, more adult side of Disney, I think, than downtown Disney is adults as well. But anyway, that's why I love the Swan Dolphin. I also love the Gaylord Texan, and that's in Grapevine, Texas. So that's a beautiful property as well. Gaylord properties are fantastic. Those are like the most beautiful properties in the country. As far as, they're not 5-star, but as far as like for the regular Joe Schmo that is willing to pay $350 up a night, the Gaylords are just awesome. And like the Gaylord Texan, for any planners out there, they have this VIP service that I haven't seen any other hotel pull off at all, not as well as them. So, we always have VIPs that come to these events and whatnot. You have singers, you have musicians, you have congressmen, political figures, whoever. So they have like a separate office for VIP patrons, but it doesn't feel like you're being taken to a back entrance to a back room, because that's usually how it happens. It's a full-on, it's a beautiful just office that you bring your VIP into. They have the keys ready. They have security waiting. They have a really great VIP experience. You get coffee, juice, snacks, anything you can ask for. And instead of going to the front desk to check your person in, you just go back to the room, and they have everything for you and take you right up to your room.
Wow.
They have beautiful rooms, and the whole place is set up for events. All Gaylords are they're conference centers, but they don't look like it. So this one in particular I like because one side of it has all of the sleeping rooms, and then the other side of it has sleeping rooms, but it also has all of their conference rooms. So, your attendees will be upstairs sleeping and just have to come right downstairs and go straight to their rooms, to their meeting rooms, which is a little different because a lot of hotels, they'll have meeting rooms on the second floor, third floor, 18th floor, 19th floor. It's all spread out and it's annoying. It's hard to plan. You have to put out like a million signs and cost way more money to kind of produce a show at a place like that. But this one is perfect.
Do you have I'm sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, I was just going to say the last one that I'll say is the Lowe's Hotel in New Orleans. Just as a regular patron, it's not from an event plan of mine, but I stayed there it was just a few days, but it was like the most perfect experience. It's right near the French Quarter. It's a couple of blocks over, though. It's across the street from Mother's. that soul food spot that everybody seems to love, which I like, but I just like their fried chicken. But the Lowe's is like, it's awesome. They give you umbrellas. You go to these raining off and on in New Orleans. So you get there, you're like, all right, there's an umbrella by Lowe's, great views of the Mississippi, great bedding, great robes. My number one thing for hotels is I better have a comfortable bed and I need a good robe to lounge in around. And they have both.
I used to I used to have the robes on the menu for me, but they never really have robes my size in the room. But you know what? I never asked them to see if they have anything bigger, so I'm gonna definitely
See?
start
Ask
doing
next
that.
time. Yep, you gotta ask, but you're pretty like big, like up top. I don't know. You might need to just put on two.
Right. do do you have a favorite hotel loyalty program?
Yeah, Starwood.
Yes, high five to Starwood, because when you said that
Starwood is the best.
when you said that the hotel the Swan and Dolphin Hotel, when you said that was Starwood, that caught my attention because I love Starwood hotels, and I've gotten to the point where I'm a platinum member, and they definitely treat their
They treat you like one.
yeah, exactly. Like they treat all of their rewards program good, but like my most recent one was I booked a hotel in Chicago recently, and for my next trip that's coming up, and they were sold out. So, but they was like, well, we see you're a platinum member, so we'll just do the platinum override, and they got me in there. And so I asked them. I said, so what? So you got? I made sure that they had me booked in there before I asked this question. So I was like, so you got me booked in here, and it was sold out. What happened to the person that was in there? And the guy started laughing. He was like, well, you're not supposed to ask that, but we'll just get them to another hotel. I was like, oh, okay, all right, cool. So
Well, and he just told you that because honestly, I mean, I guess this will go back into the tips and tricks. When hotels say that they're sold out, they're never sold out.
see, I
They're
always
never
thought that.
sold out.
I always thought that.
They always have rooms. Yeah, they always have rooms. They keep rooms on the side. So, like, let's say that you were staying at a hotel that was going to have a conference, right? And, well, you wanted to stay there. And you call them and they're like, oh, we're all sold out. But then, and let's just say that you're going to this conference, right? They're like, oh, we're all sold out. And you're like, what the hell? So then you call the meeting planner, the conference planner. She's like, all right, well, I'll give you a call back. I'll see what I can do. She just calls and says, hey, I have this person that wants to come stay at the hotel. You told him that you were sold out, but I need to give him a room. Okay, no problem. Just give me his name and someone call us with this credit card information because they have rooms. So what you do as like a regular patient, regular customer, you call and they say that they're sold out, and you ask to speak to a sales rep. Go, can I speak to someone in group sales, please? And, they'll put you through to one of their sales reps, or you can ask to speak to a catering rep even, because catering sales, because they'll put you through to the right person. But you complete your case. Hey, I need to get into this hotel. I have lots to do, and I really want to stay at this hotel for these dates. Is there any way possible that you can get me in? I'm not guaranteeing that they'll get you in. I mean, they will look at your loyalty rewards and all that good stuff. But a lot of the times, they'll get you in. They'll find a ring because they always have rings. They're never sold out.
Aside from the obvious and being platinum status and all of that, what is it about the Starwood Hotels loyalty program that just puts it head and shoulders above the rest of them for you?
Well, I mean, honestly, it's just the way that they treat you. You don't have to be a platinum member. You could have just got signed up for your Starwood points yesterday, and you call in for, to book your room. They're going to look and say, oh, "Hi, Mr. Jones. I see that you're a Starwood loyalty member." Just off the first contact, they will treat you a different way. It's bad to say, but it would be a different way than if you call in and you're not a part of their loyalty program. Not to say they treat people bad.
Right, no, I
but
get
I'm
what you're
just
saying.
saying you have a different, yeah, you have a different feeling because it's part of their program. And then when you, even when you're like booking and then you book your room and then you go online and you go into your program account, right? Into your Starwood account, and you can see what you booked. You can upgrade just from online. You could, there's a lot of different things that you could do just from within your account. But then when you get to the hotel, if they have upgrade rooms that are available, they'll upgrade you. You don't have to have any loyalty points. They'll upgrade you just because they have the extra rooms and they know they're not going to sell it for that night.
Yep.
There's just different things that they do. You go into your room, you have your free water in there.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll go up in there. Sometimes they'll have your cheese and food, and it just depends on who's running like the catering department or however they feel that day. But I just feel like with their program, you get way more perks that are not even advertised. You just feel differently.
Yeah. I like them because it seems like their points, there's a lot of opportunity to gain more points. And it doesn't cost that many points, depending on the hotel, to get a free night. They do upgrade you to the largest room available if whatever's available there. As far as a tip is concerned for them, and maybe not just them, but some of the other ones as well, because I've noticed this with Marriott. Let's say you sign up with Starwood and you're at the ground floor, you're at the first level. You can call that rewards number and ask them if they have like any promotions or anything that could advance your tier to like gold tier or to the platinum tier. And they'll check, and a lot of times they do. Like for me, I think they said, well, if you can, what we have is if you stay a certain amount of nights within this time frame. And they asked me, they was like, pick a 3-month time frame, and if you stay a certain amount of nights, we'll just boot you up to platinum. And that worked out for me because I knew that I was going to be staying at least half of those nights. I ended up staying more within that 3-month period. So, I mean, that's how I got mine. But you just call and ask them that. I think it's the same way with Marriott as well. Another thing people don't realize is if let's say you stay at a hotel, and I think this is with any of them. You stay at a hotel and you haven't signed up for their loyalty program, and then you decide later that you want to sign up for it. You can call them back and let them know that you stayed there, and they will apply those loyalty points. A lot of people don't know that.
Yes. Yeah, retroactively. They will.
Yep. So cool.
They will. I love those programs. I mean, Hilton Honors too. That's a really good program as well. If you're a Hilton Honors member, you stay on a different line. You get to the room before everyone else. I think most of them are the same across the board. But just like you, I am partial to Starwood.
Have you ever stayed at maybe a smaller, maybe not known as well type hotel, and you were impressed by them?
I haven't. The only reason is just because I've kind of been a meeting planner for like I said, like over 10 years now. So I usually stay, even on my own personal vacations, at like the large chain hotels, just because I'm a part of those loyalty programs. I can call people and get the friends and family rates. So I tend to not stay at any boutique type of hotel.
I ended up staying at one, or was it? No, it wasn't. Was it earlier this year? I think, it was earlier this year that I stayed at one. It was in Sunnyvale, California, which isn't too far from San Francisco. I was out there near the headquarters for my office, and we stayed at they booked us at the Maple Tree Inn because one, everything in San Francisco is super high, but two, everything was sold out. So we stayed at the Maple Tree Inn, and it's a smaller hotel, but they do a lot with what they have. They recently renovated, and there's some things where if you're used to staying at larger hotel chains, it's like, well, I would have liked to have had this, but any area where they lack in, like they're really thoughtful. Like I went into the closet, and there was like this. They had an umbrella just in case it rained, and then they put like this little card that lets you know what it's for, and it's a real polite way of saying if we don't find it, we're gonna charge you for it. But I felt real good reading it because it was a thoughtful card. Like it said something to the effect of what did it say? Should the umbrella not make it back or something like that? We'll just go ahead. We'll just add it to the room charge. Not a problem at all. And I was like, okay.
They're doing you a favor.
It definitely made me
adding it to your bill.
They definitely made it seem like it was yeah, we'll go ahead and don't even worry about it. We'll do you this favor. No problem at all. So that was that was hilarious. Let's talk about airlines. Things that we both have learned flying. First, do you have a favorite airline that you like to fly?
Listen, I'm all about Southwest.
Shout out to Southwest. Rewards.
Yeah. A lot of people don't like Southwest just due to the fact that, well, I'm not going to say a lot of people, but some people, just because, pretty much anyone can board anywhere, and there's not like a first class, a business class. I mean, you can pay extra just to board early, but ultimately we're all safe out there. But I love Southwest. I mean, I think that they are the most affordable. They get you where you need to go. I haven't had delays on Southwest. I know, some other people would probably be like, what? Because I hear that they're delayed a lot, but I've never seen it. And I've traveled all over this country several times over on Southwest. So for me, it gives me everything that I want. A place to sit, somewhere to go, and with no issue. The flight attendants are nice. I've never had any issues on trying to get a refund or just anything. I haven't had any issues with them.
See, I like their boarding process, and someone was telling me, they wish that they had the boarding process where you choose your seat. I like it being able to get on and pick the seat that I want. Like if that very first row seat is open, like I can take that. Or if I want the emergency row, where I can have more leg room, I'll take that. Generally, I'll go straight almost to the back because I don't like holding people up, and I want to be able to take things out of my bag and put things up, without feeling rushed. But I love Southwest. I am a Rapid Rewards member. Love their Rapid Rewards program. Have flown enough to become A-list. Actually, they had a program also where if you flew a certain amount of times, you could get bumped up to A-list, and that's cool being able to get into the A-list line. And
they have a lot of like little I want to say promotions with getting people to A-list all the time. It's crazy. They're like, if you book between August and September, then we'll bump you up to the A-list for 6 months. They do this all the time.
Which is great because, like you were saying, you could pay the extra. I think they call it the early bird, where you can book where you can board earlier. A-list automatically gives you the early bird for every flight that you get on. So yeah.
I love Southwest, but I mean, I can see people not liking the boarding process because I always pay for the early bird. Like no matter where I'm going, I don't care if I'm going to go to Jersey. It's an hour away. I don't care. I'm going to pay, for the early bird. But if you don't get early bird and you end up, like checking in super late and you have to sit all the way in the back and you just don't have a choice, that could be annoying. That could definitely be annoying. I could see why people wouldn't like it.
I found out recently that Delta, and maybe it's because maybe it's because Southwest is now in direct competition with Delta now that they have a hub in Atlanta when they took over AirTran. But I found that Delta's prices now are very comparable to Southwest. Like someone was telling, I was looking up Southwest flight, and because she worked with Delta, she wanted me to, it would support her. So I was like, all right, well, I'll look at it. I'll look at it and see. and the prices were the same. Now here's where the difference is for me. Southwest, you get to check two
You gotta
bags for free.
stop. Oh, yeah. Well, see, I found that with Delta, you always have a layover.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, the thing is, you are like in Georgia, so that's usually the layover spot.
Yeah.
So you can kind of avoid that a lot of times. But for me, coming from this side, there's always a layover, and I'm like, why would there be a layover just for me to get to Florida? It's just for me to get to Texas.
Right.
It makes no sense.
I'm
No sense at all.
I'm going to New York. Why do I need to stop off in Colorado?
Yeah, yeah. And it's like, I don't know about other people out there, but I have not really found a lot of Delta flights that were nonstop. Not for where I needed to go anyway.
Yeah.
Even though the prices are comparable, it's like, why would I fly on you when I have to stop somewhere for 2 hours? Or I could just go on Southwest for the same exact price, and it's nonstop.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That was something else I was going to add about. Oh yeah. So another way that they have to increase your Rapid Rewards points is the Rapid Rewards dining, where you just eat at some of the places that I think there's a website, and you kind of just you sign up for, and you whatever card you usually use, whatever credit card or debit card you usually use to when you go out to eat, they give you like a list of places that you probably already go to, and you eat there. And for I think for every dollar you spend, there's a point that goes towards your Rapid Reward. So that's awesome.
Oh, I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, Rapid Rewards dining.
One of my Twitter followers actually put me on to getting a Southwest credit card.
Oh
So,
man,
I mean,
you in the game?
Have credit cards. No. Well, yeah, but no, I already have credit cards. So what I did was, take away ones I already had, and instead of using that, I just closed that account and then opened up the Southwest one, which the one that I closed is one that I would just use for like regular, normal, grocery stuff, like just regular stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And started using the Southwest one instead, and just got Rapid Reward points through that. And
Yes.
within months, I was already racking up so many points. I don't know. I don't know how many trips right now because I have so many points on my account.
And like they have no blackout dates for their points. If a flight goes on sale, their points go on sale. So it's really really amazing. They have other ways that you can get more points. Like if you rent a hotel through Southwest site. Personally, I don't like to do that because I get more points for whatever the loyalty program for that hotel or that rental car. But to each his own. To each his own. What are some tips and tricks or tips and secrets you've learned about airlines? I know we kind of talked about one.
Well, I'm going to say, number one, the best day of the week to book your airfare would be on Tuesday or Wednesday, like sometimes Wednesday, but mainly on Tuesdays, because sales from airlines, they usually put stuff on sale on Mondays. So then everywhere else, all those websites and whatnot, all the other competing airlines, they're all trying to catch up to the sales that were dropped on Monday. You know what I mean? So on Tuesday, this dropped even lower because Americans for that Southwest has a flight to Florida from Maryland for $260. So they're going to put it at $250 or whatever the case is. So all across the board, like even if you're getting flights from Expedia or Travelocity or anywhere, Tuesday is the best day to book.
People say that that's a myth, but I actually saw that for myself last week. So I was looking to book a flight to Chicago, and I was looking to have a morning flight back. But that morning flight for that day, I saw it. I think it was like $69, $79 for early morning. I don't mind flying. That next, I was like, well, I'll just, something happened why I didn't get it that day. I was like, well, I'll just get it tomorrow. That next day, shot up back up to $142. So I had to get a later flight. It was like, wow, okay.
Yeah, it's true. Like, I know a lot of, I don't know, a lot of stuff that you hear, people be like, no, that's not true. This one's true. Tried and true. Tuesdays is the day. Tuesday or Wednesday, like I said. Sometimes, sometimes the sales will linger on to Wednesday, but mainly Tuesday. The other tip I would say is if you travel a lot, is to enroll in TSA Pre, which is the pre-screening process
Yes,
of the
TSA pre-check.
Transportation Security Administration. Yeah, so it costs like, what does it cost? Like 80 or $90. I can't remember.
I think
I did
it's
it so long ago,
I
but
think it's like I want to say it's $80, but if you use an American Express, they refund that back to you.
what? They
Yep.
didn't tell me that.
Yeah, I found that out. I found it out when I got it because I was using an American Express and I was looking up the TSA pre-check and they it's actually on their site. If you use an American Express, they'll refund it back to you. I think within like I think
Oh
with like in a
man,
month.
I'm
Yeah,
mad now.
the
I
TSA
know that's the
pre-check.
next time when I have to renew it. Yeah, I think that's the biggest tip that we could give anyone because I've told so
Man,
many people and they're like, oh, well, I'll do it. I'm like, yeah, okay. I show up to BWI Airport whenever I go away. I show up about 45 minutes early and I'm still early for my flight because it takes like 10 minutes to check in. You just roll right through security on that TSA pre-check line and
yep.
you have no problem. It's so easy.
So when you combine that with the A list that special line they have in the front when you are
Yep,
when you checking in, and then with the TSA pre-check, like
yep.
there's been so many times where I probably would have missed my flight had it not been for TSA pre-check.
Me too, trust me. So, I mean, just for anyone who doesn't know what it is, TSA pre-check, pretty much, you just, literally, all you gotta do is bring your money and bring your ID. You download the application from online. You can just Google, like, TSA pre-check, and, you can look for their website. But you just print out the application, fill out the information, and they have different centers that you can go to. There's centers in every city. The one in Maryland, they have one in like downtown Baltimore, and then they have one, I believe, at BWI Airport. Sorry for everybody, I'm in Maryland, so this is all I know. But but you just go down there and you bring your money, you bring your ID. You have to use a credit card or like a check, I believe. But you bring your ID, they put your info into their system. You sit there kind of looking nervous, right? You just look a little nervous, like what's about to happen. But literally, they just type in your information, and then they say, thank you, we'll contact you in about a month.
Yep.
And, it's like 3 weeks later, they send you a letter saying that you've been approved, and that's it. What they do is do a background check. And I'm not sure, like, I'm pretty sure it's not looking to see if you have any felonies or stuff like that. They're looking to see if you're, like, on the terrorist list. You know what I mean? And if you've had any type of arrests that have to do with things about terrorism or, they're going to look to see if you're on the no-fly list and things like that. But I don't know anybody who has been denied for TSA pre-check. It's the best $80 investment you can ever make in your life.
And the whole process is when you actually go to the facilities because they do have them at most airports, and they do have like off-site ones, so you can choose. When you sign up online, you kind of do. I guess it's almost like a pre-screen. It's not much. You just filling it out. When you get there, I think that process it couldn't have taken no more than maybe 7 or 8 minutes. Because like you said, you just give them the card. And I think for me, they asked for it's 2 forms of ID, and they give you things you could choose from. I think I had my ID, and I think I had a birth certificate or something like that. And so I gave that to them, typed it in there. 3 weeks later, gave me my known traveler number, and they put it when you go and book your flights. You will see that TSA pre right at the top of your boarding pass, and you just go through the short line,
Yep.
and you in the game.
You right there.
You in the
And my old coworkers, I mean, we used to take flights together, and I'm cruddy for this, but I never told them about it. So they would be like, "Oh my God, you got PSA pre again?" I'd be like, "Yeah, they don't let me at Southwest or something
oh, they thought that
all the time."
they didn't know you signed up. They
Well,
thought that you were just like,
they didn't know I signed up, and what some airlines do is they will choose a couple of people on every flight to give TSA free check to. So you don't have to be signed up for it. They will just randomly choose people to give TSA free check. And usually it's not really that random. It's people that they see fly on their airline a lot, but you won't get it every time. You'll get it, once in a while. So the first time that I got it, they pretty much were like, "Oh my God, you actually got it!" And I'm like, "Yeah, I can't believe it." To this day, they have no idea, and I'm, especially my sister, I've flown with her like at least 20 times since I've had a TSA free check, and every time I'm like, "Oh my God, girl, I don't even know."
I'll tell you what got me one time though, like with TSA pre-check. I didn't know that they had a closing time, so I had a book flight that it was like a red eye flight, so I was leaving super late. And I went to the TSA pre-check line and it was closed. So I'm walking around like, well, maybe that's just this line because it is kind of late. So I walked all the way around to the Delta side. They were closed. So now I'm kind of confused. Like, yo, I got TSA pre-check. It's like right here. I should be able to get on. So I find somebody and I'm like, yeah, is the TSA pre-check line? Is it what's going on with it? And they was like, oh yeah, they close at 9. It was like, wow.
You have to stand in line with the regular people. How rude.
I was definitely feeling some kind of way. because they don't tell you that there's a closing time. And I've flown 10, 15, 20 flights and it's like I've never had a problem, and now all of a sudden that it is.
Well, and it depends on the airline too. I mean the airport, excuse me. It depends on the airport. 'Cause if you go somewhere like LAX, pre is not closing at 9 o'clock.
Well, this was at Hartsfield Jackson, so I was pretty surprised. And I was like, well, what time? I was like, well, what time do they open? It was like 5 a.m. All right, fine. Forget it. Yeah. Do you have a favorite airport?
No, I don't have a favorite airport. I hate them all. Well, equally, I do not like airports at all.
Even Phoenix Sky Harbor?
No. There's not one airport you could ever name that I'm going to say, yeah, that was great. They all suck. I mean, they're sitting around waiting for a plane. I just don't like any of them. The ones that really, really suck, Miami International Airport, it could have got better in the last 2 months since I was there, but like they're doing some construction on their Delta side, so they suck. That's like all messed up. I don't know. I mean, I like BWI and all, but it might just be because I go to it all the time.
You tolerate
but
it.
the process of me getting to my flight is pretty easy, but I just hate airports. I think like, I hate standing around. I need to be doing something. So for me to have to stand on lines and sit down and wait for the flight, it's all like, come on, just get me on this plane. Let's go.
I had a layover in San Diego, and this is the only airport that I'd ever seen this at. In order for me to get to my other gate, I had to go through security again, and that kind of just threw me off for the rest of that day. When I got back to Atlanta the last time, I was looking at on the little concourse train the different advertisements. They have now, and I'm pretty sure it's at other airports, but they have now these little, like these kind of nap rooms. It's like mini hotels, and
you pay money to just sleep for like 45 minutes.
Yeah, I thought that was genius.
Yeah, they're called pods. I can't remember the company that that runs them. But yeah, it just started.
I'll tell you definitely the most boring airport I went to, and I kind of joked about this on Twitter, but I mean it gets the job done. Is Midway International Airport in Chicago.
Oh God, yeah.
I never flew into O'Hare, but Midway is definitely it's it's functional. I mean, it gets you to your it gets you to your flight.
That's a good word for it. It's small. There's no type of entertainment there.
Right.
I mean, you can go get like a copy of National Geographic magazine from.
I'm like, yo,
That's about it.
just put something on the wall. Like, can I see like there's this big, huge, long, like 17-foot wall, nothing. Nothing on it.
I feel like Midway is just like so angry at being stepchild of O'Hare that, they just don't care.
Yeah.
Just like, leave me alone.
It kind of
Why? Go home. Get out of here.
it kind of reminded me of Love Field in Dallas, but I kind of understand why Love Field is like that. I get it because Love Field, they just had, I forget the name of the act where basically flights couldn't fly to different states out of Love Field because they had built Dallas Fort Worth. So that act recently passed, and now Southwest only flies out of Love Field, and now they can travel everywhere. So they didn't have the funding that Dallas Fort Worth had. But Midway, I don't think y'all had that problem. I liked Phoenix Sky Harbor. Phoenix Sky Harbor their tagline is it's the friendliest airport. I mean it's cool, it's quiet, no one's getting in your way. I like it because upstairs is kind of like a little mall. So I thought that was dope. Definitely the most obnoxiously large airport that I went to is probably Charlotte. And Atlanta's pretty large, but Charlotte's airport is unnecessarily large. And maybe that was just because of the gate that I had to go to when I was on the layover, but I was like, there's no bus. I gotta walk all the way around. Oh, that's the airport. There's an airport in Indiana where there's a hallway you walk down, like when you know how you get on the little conveyor belt, the little Jetsons thing where the floor is moving.
Mm-hmm.
There's an airport there where there are lights at the top on the ceiling, and as you go through, the lights kind of light up, and it plays like a little tune, like it's like bing, bing.
Yeah, so you know where you are.
Yeah, and it's like a little game. So I thought that's pretty dope.
That Atlanta airport is the worst because it's too big. Just because it's too big.
Yeah, but we got a train though.
You do, but I mean, I have to walk like 70,000 steps on my Fitbit just to get to the train. Who wants to do that when you're trying to catch a layover that's like 25 minutes later and you got to figure out where the train is, and all of a sudden you realize it's on the other side of the circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. What order do you recommend people book their travel in? Because I know when I'm booking travel, like I'm thinking like, well, do I want to book the car first and then the hotel? But then if I don't get a good plane, then that other stuff doesn't matter. Do you have a particular order that you book in?
Yeah. So my biggest tip for like booking things, which I mean, this would be booking your hotel first. So you book your hotel first, and I like booking directly through the hotel instead of using a travel site.
I learned to do that.
I do everything separate. Yeah. I do everything separate. I book airfare separate and hotel separate. The reason why I do hotel first is just because you want to lock that in. You want to lock in a good rate. You want to lock in the fact that you have your room. With airfare, with, flights and everything, prices change. You can get a good flight. I mean, you can decide that you want to go to Vegas today. You fly today and you're like, I'm going to go in October. Well, you could get a flight on sale tomorrow, or you could get a flight on sale at the beginning of July, and like all up until October, you're going to be able to catch a flight on sale for the price that prices that you would want to pay.
Yeah.
But that's different for the room. The room could go up and up and up. They're not really going to come down too much. So if you get it at a good rate when it's low, and you just want to make sure that you have it. You can fly on any single airline, but you can't just call it a single hotel. If you're the type of person that likes, a little bit of let's just say 3-star. Like the Hilton is kind of 3, almost 4. The Westin is like 4. If you like those type of hotels, well, there's certain places that you're going to go that you're not going to have that many choices. So you want to book your hotel first, and you want to call them and book it straight through them because you can pay later. You can book it now, pay later. You can save money for your flight, pay for that first, and then you're saving up until you actually go, get to the location and pay for your hotel. And with hotels, you can look online and see what Expedia or Travelocity or whatever is hotels.com, what they're offering on that hotel. And then you call the hotel and say, hey, you just quoted me $219 a night, but I looked on hotels.com and the same type of room is $159 a night. What's up with that? And they'll match it.
Oh, really?
I mean, they'll charge you. Yeah. Yes. They will charge you what they say. I mean, you got to get to the right person because if you get like a newer person, they'll be like, oh, well, I don't see it in the system. Oh, well, that's nice, sweetheart. Let me see if you're a supervisor. Thank you. And, and they'll match that. They'll give you the price that you see online. And then when you get to the hotel, if you're a member of those loyalty programs that we spoke about, you can possibly get a free upgrade. Yep. But if you book through like an Expedia or something like that, you book online, your loyalty points really are not going to matter until you actually get there and say, oh, yeah, I'm a Star Wars member. But doing it on site and doing it beforehand are two different things. They treat you two different ways.
Yep. Well, they sure do. That happened to me once when I think I booked through hotwire.com, which is usually really cheap and they usually do you pretty good. They don't typically tell you the hotel that you're staying in until you actually booked. Although I did find a way to get them to show it, and I'll tell you that in a second. But it ended up being a Hilton, and like you said, when you with the Hilton Honors Program, like they treat you different. I got there and they looked me up, and I was like, oh yeah, by the way, Hilton Honors. And when she saw it, like her mood kind of changed. Not that she was treating me really shitty at first or anything like that. It's just they go out of their way, like you said, for their rewards program. For those of you that that use Hotwire, if you book a hotel in a certain area, they don't show you the hotel till after you pay. But if you search for that hotel in that area with a flight attached to it or a rental car attached to it, they show you the hotel name. And so just go back and take the flight or the car off of it so you know which one you're going to get. So that's a tip there.
That's a good tip.
Yeah. I know you and I both like booking directly through the hotels, but do you have a site that you recommend for booking travel? I like Hotwire.
Yeah, definitely. My favorite site is Expedia. I've been booking through Expedia for years. They have great deals, great rates. I have personal experience with having some issues with travel where one time I went to a hotel in Florida. Me and a friend of mine went to a hotel in Florida, one of those unpopular towns. I don't remember what it was called, Orchid Beach or something. I don't know, but it was near Daytona. But I booked through Expedia, and I got there, and the hotel people didn't have my reservation on file, or they claimed that they didn't have my reservation file. So, I called Expedia about it, and long story short, they not only made sure I was able to get my room, they upgraded us too, for nothing. We didn't pay for an upgrade. And it was quick. It was a quick fix. It was something that was on the hotel side that they messed up on. And, we had no issues. Another time I had to cancel a trip because a hurricane was coming and we were going to Miami.
Oh, goodness.
We were going to Miami or Dominican Republic. I don't remember, but we were going somewhere where a hurricane was coming, and I was like, okay, we can't go. Like, I ain't got to get stuck in a hurricane. So, called Expedia, and they have, they do have, something where it says it doesn't matter if something is coming. If a natural disaster is coming, you can't really cancel. Something has to happen while you're there for you to get money back, or I don't know. It was crazy, but I didn't have any issues. I read that online, but I still called them, and as soon as I called them, the customer service rep told me that we didn't have issues. She was like, okay, no problem. Refunded me in full. And it was awesome. We rebooked to them for, a couple of weeks later and still went on our trip. But I find that a lot of the websites, they have all these, all this hidden lingo. Everything in writing is kind of hidden, where they won't give you refunds, they won't rebook things, they just try to put you through a lot of issues. I've had issues with Travelocity in the past that were never resolved. So for me, I like Expedia.
Cool. You don't rent a lot of cars, huh? Because they always picking you up, like rolling out the red carpet.
Yeah, I don't rent cars either.
Oh, okay. So like I briefly went into on a couple episodes ago about car rental tips, and I like to use National. I like their loyalty program, the Emerald Club, because you just rent at the mid-size rate, and whatever's on the Emerald Isle you can get. It is definitely, it's awesome because I'm a bigger guy, and so I can't fit in like these smaller cars, and I oftentimes will find either a full size or SUV, and they're late model cars. Like at first I was like, well, what's the catch? Maybe these are their throwaway cars. No, it's not. They are, they're just, I don't know what the criteria is and what they choose to put over there, but it's just as good of a selection as if you would have booked that rate directly. A lot of times what I tell people is if you're starting off, just ask for the executive experience, and they will let you get into one of the executive vehicles, which is your upper tiers, that's when you get into your more luxury ones, and they'll just let you do it at whatever the mid-size rate is. The key is you just got to ask them. A lot of times, what I found is, like, I'm the type of person, I don't mind waiting for a specific car to come by, especially if I've already driven it. So I don't mind waiting. But if you go and ask someone, you say, well, hey, you have this coming up, they will go and check and see, and they'll call whoever's, checking the cars in, and they will bring that car around to you, because a lot of times they'll just have them sitting like in another lot, or maybe they were waiting to wash it or something like that, but they will go and get that car and bring it to you. That's particularly why I like renting them from airports, because I get that level of service. Not that I don't get that anywhere else. It's just easier for me because that's usually where I am. Another thing with that is people often ask me, do you get the rental car insurance from the company? And I tell them a lot of times I don't, because what you don't realize is the credit card that you use usually has that built in it. It usually has your travel insurance and your car insurance built into it, and your own auto insurance.
Especially Amex.
Especially Amex. Your own auto insurance usually extends over, covers you in whatever vehicle you're in. I know it does with Progressive. So some companies might ask you if you have an auto insurance to, put that on there. I think those are some of the lesser companies. National doesn't. National also doesn't ask you for a deposit. So, for instance, if my rental car for the week is $300, they don't. A lot of other companies will put that $300 on hold plus $350 or something like that. They don't do that. They just put on the hold the amount of the rental, which is great. The three companies I know that do that is National, I think Enterprise does it, and I know Alamo. They're all under that, whatever that brand is. They're all under that same brand. So I found it out with them. So yeah, that's my rental car tips. If you've rented a car like before, right? Like you have something.
Yeah, not done before. I'm just saying I don't do it when I go away. Like I
Yeah.
mean, when I fly to other cities, I've rented cars within the city. Like I'll drive from here to New York. I rented a car from here to Canada, which was the longest drive I've ever taken in life. So I rent cars, but just not while I'm traveling.
Wow. All right. Cool. I think we've covered everything as far as the three aspects of travel. I'm trying to think if I've missed anything as far as
Yeah.
rental cars. No, I can't think of anything. And that's definitely the ice cream man that's outside. I don't know if you hear that, but
I, I don't
do
hear
you
it.
hear it? If you don't hear it, that means the listeners don't hear it.
No,
No, I mean I heard it. And I
I
knew it was
don't
the
hear
ice cream
you.
man because I kind of flinched. You know, as a kid, you kind of were ready to jump outside. But anyway, so let's change gears. The last thing I want to talk about before I get you
Well,
out of here.
I'm just gonna say, I want to just give one last tip for everybody,
Oh, okay, cool.
which is super important to me. I think that people need to realize that when you're going on a trip that is, pretty far, let's say you're going out of the country or even, across country, I think that it's really important for you to get traveler's insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it depends on, whether or not you know for sure that nothing will happen before you're going to take this trip. I've seen so many different things happen to people where they, let's say right now we're at the end of June, they book something for New Year's. And within that time, maybe the person that they were going with, something happened to them. Maybe something happened to their family in like the beginning of December. Maybe something happened the week before they were supposed to fly. And then they lose all their money.
Damn.
You lose all your money, or you get to your trip, you get to your destination. Let's say you go out of the country. A lot of people go to like Mexico and Dominican Republic, even though we're not doing it right now until they change their laws. But anyway, they go out of the country and something happens. You break your leg. You go to the hospital. You think that your health insurance covers you, but it does not. Most of the health insurance in the United States does not cover you when you go out of the country.
Right.
So travelers, yeah, and a lot of people don't know that. Especially if they don't travel internationally a lot, they just kind of assume that they're covered. But then something happens, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait, what do you mean I'm not covered? Now you have a bill for $4,000 for something minor. And we know that other countries don't charge as much as the U.S., but still you're going to have a bill.
Exactly.
So traveler's insurance is very important.
That's great. I didn't even think about that. Do you have a particular travel insurance company that you recommend or that you like?
No, honestly, I'm not going to promote any company. No, I don't have anyone in particular that I use. I pretty much will call my regular insurance company and ask them for, I'll tell them where I'm going and ask them for like recommendations.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the times when you're booking, you get offered travel insurance. It's really not a lot of money. It's like $20, $15. It's something really minor, but people are usually like, I'm not paying that. But then something happens and, they're pretty much asked out because they decided that they weren't going to do this because they just knew that they were going to go on this trip and, nothing was going to happen. And it covers you because a lot of people buy like those non-refundable flights.
Yep.
Because they're like, no, I'm definitely going. So there's no reason. But then something happens, and then you're out, $300, and you're calling the airlines and you're cursing them out, and at the end of the day, you still don't have your money back because you clicked non-refundable flight. So this is not necessary all the time. You don't always have to have traveler's insurance, but I just want people to really think about it and think about things that can happen to them. And if it's worth it for you to pay the extra $20-something, then by all means, please go ahead.
Oh, that reminds me. You were telling me how flights routinely overbook flights, like on purpose.
Yes. You want to piss me off now. With these memories, I was so mad when we were talking about that. Yes, airlines and their tricky, tricky practices. So airlines will overbook all the time. They overbook every single solitary flight that they sell. And if I were you, people out there, if it's overbooked, take that money that they're offering. If they say, I'm going to we'll give you $400, to book another flight, go ahead, take it. But just know that if they're telling you that they're going to pay you $400 or $200 or whatever it is to take another flight, and then they end up pushing the flight back until they end up telling you that they'll push that flight back until the morning, they have to put you up in a hotel. Don't let them, let you sleep in the airport or you go and book your own hotel, because then the $200 that they're giving you is null and void because you're spending it to stay in a hotel. So they are obligated to, put you up in a hotel. They're obligated to give you that extra little money that they're offering so that you can, let somebody else on the flight have your seat or whatever the case is. But overall, I get pissed off because they overbook on purpose every single flight so that they can make extra money, because they assume that someone is not going to show up. And when everybody does show up, that's when they start begging people to give up their seat.
So when you say that they're supposed to put you up in a hotel, they won't always tell you that, though. They'll make it seem like, we'll give you this. They never tell you.
Yeah. They never tell you. So you have to be very, very headstrong, and, they're going to be like, no, well, we can't do that. We can't put you in a hotel, but we can give you a $5 voucher at the nearest Holiday Inn. They'll take $5 off. You have to be very, very headstrong and be like, no, you're going to pay me to stay in a hotel because I just let you have my seat that I booked 2 weeks ago, 2 months ago, a year ago. And this is what you're going to do. And they have to do it. A lot of people don't push back because they kind of listen to, what they're saying. They're like, oh, okay, well, I thought that it would be nice if you let me get in a hotel. No, you just ask to speak to a supervisor and you keep pushing the subject. They have rooms at every hotel, like those airport hotels. Trust me and believe me that the airlines keep rooms at those hotels. So they can put you up in those hotels. They have deals with all those hotels where they're not paying a lot of money for a room. It's not free for them, but they're not paying a lot of money. And either way, the money doesn't even matter because they asked you to get off your flight so that someone else can have your seat. And if you have to stay overnight, they have to give you somewhere to sleep overnight. So you just keep pushing the subject. It shouldn't really take that much pushing, but you can't just listen to the first thing that they tell you because they're always going to tell you no.
Gotcha. That's when you told me that, it blew my mind. I was like, wow. I had no idea that they purposely overbook flights, because it happened to me one time and I didn't really do the pushback. I was just thinking, all right, I got points, I'll just use these, which actually worked out because Marriott requires you to use a lot of points for a stay, and I knew I probably wasn't gonna ever use it, but they did give me a voucher, so that was great. But next time I know I'm going to push back.
Yeah, because they want you to like they just gave you a favor by giving you, a $300 gift certificate to take another flight. When in actuality, they just made, let's say the flight was $300, they just made $600 off of two people, for one seat. It's ridiculous.
Yep. All right. So what last thing I want to talk about before I let you go is your cat. You have kind of you have the most interesting relationship with your cat, and the only way that I can describe it is it's like a business relationship, which sounds weird because it's an animal. Like tell us about your cat.
I don't even like my cat.
But your
I
cat
can't
lives there.
believe I'm being forced to talk about my cat.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, she lives here. I mean, because she ain't got nowhere else to go. She can't pay no rent. She lives here. I got this cat like 3 years ago because I came home one day and I saw a mouse. And I was like, oh my God. So I ran out the house and I didn't come back for a couple of days. I got my cousin to come over and put down all these traps. And then when I couldn't afford to stay in the hotel anymore, I came home and that mouse was caught. And I was like, oh my God. So then I was going to, like maybe 2 weeks later, I was going to Phoenix. And I was going for 7 days. And when I walked out the house, I saw a mouse. And I was like, oh my God. So, I mean, long story short, with that one, I moved 3 weeks later. But I got my cousin to go over there again and put out all these traps while I was gone. So when I came home, I literally dropped my stuff in the house, like at the front door, because I was too scared to go inside because I knew there was a mouse in my house. And I went to PetSmart. It was like, hey, hi, guys, I want a cat. Cats catch mice. I hear that because I can't live in this house. It's the second house I ever saw, and I can't do it. And so I got this little kitten, and, you know, they had all these cats. So I do not like cats, but they had all these kittens, and there were these kittens that were, like, all over me, and I was like, oh, my God, get away from me. And there was one kitten that was in the corner looking mad scared, and I was like, oh, that looks like a good one. Like, she was like, she want to talk to me. Oh, and the lady was like, no, she's one of our rescues that's been abused, and she's not good for a first-time pet owner. And I was like, yeah, okay, so box her up, and I'm taking her with me, because she looks like she won't get on my nerves like this. So when I got home and I brought the cat home, I had to, like, pick up all those traps that my cousin had left out. When I got to the last trap, there was a mouse on there. And it was dead. And I was like, oh, my God. So I got the maintenance dude to come take the mouse out. I had this cat. She stayed under the couch for, like, 2 weeks. She wouldn't come out. She wasn't eating or anything. But I was like, yo, that's cool because I never saw another mouse, like, ever in life. And pretty much, my cat's name is Ghostface Lena. So she's named after Ghostface Killer and after my best friend, Elena.
Ghostface
And, yo, she just does her and I do me. Like, I don't pay her no mind. I feed her. I give her water. And she doesn't catch mice. Like, she just living up in here rent-free. She don't do nothing. She just eats. She watches TV, I think. I don't know. I don't really pay her no mind. She looks at me. I look at her. Like, she's just here. I'm always gone. You know, I leave. I come back. She's still here. One time I thought she was dead because my cousin called me. And she keeps crying. And I came home. She was still alive. And she's still alive now. She's like right here.
So you got the cat to catch mice, and your cat has not caught one mouse?
No. I mean, but she hasn't caught a mouse. I haven't had a mouse, so it's been working out. Working out. I mean, I moved from that other apartment anyway, quick, fast. But so I haven't had any mice at this apartment anyway. But I don't know if it's because there's a cat here, or is it because, my house is clean? I don't know, but I haven't had a mouse. So pretty much I just feel like she's living here. Like, she needs to do something.
Like, I mean, are you like, are you affectionate? Like, do you rub her a little bit? Something like, is it strictly like, all right, you in that room, I'm over here, and we'll watch TV together if something on we both like? Like, it's a real business relationship. Like, do you kind of show that you kind of? It is business.
I pet her when I have to, like, because I feel like, I know that pets need affection. So I make sure I pet her like 3 times a week or so.
3 times a week?
But for the most part, she's just over there. I'm over here. I walk in the house. She's at the door. I'd be like, "What up, ghost?" And she looks at me and then rolls her eyes and walks away. And then I live my life. And when I leave in the morning, she looks at me with an attitude, and I walk out the door.
And that's it.
I don't know. That's it. This cat loves me to death, though. I'm telling you.
How do you figure?
But I don't know why.
I'm trying to figure out too. Like, how do you figure your cat loves you and you kind of like don't really?
Oh my God! Because she's always next to me. She's always next to me. She's always staring at me. I mean, I'm the only person that she has here to stare at, but I don't know. I leave the door open. She don't run out. So obviously she must like it here, and she's really fat. So she does like the food. I don't know. I don't understand the question.
This is hilarious. Like, you got a cat that you don't like, and you just feel like that because she's there, you don't have any more mouse issues, and like I said, it's a business relationship. That's really what it is. It's a business relationship.
I mean, the minute that I get a mouse and she doesn't catch it, like, we gonna have issues. We gonna have some real issues. She gonna have to get out because, this just. But I like her because she doesn't bother me. Like, cats be all up on people. They get on your stuff. My cat does not go in the kitchen. She's just not allowed. She doesn't go in the bathroom. She's not allowed. She doesn't jump on stuff. She doesn't get on my couch. She doesn't get on my bed. She stays on the floor. She roams through the living room, the bedrooms, and the dining room, and that's it. She's not all up on my stuff. I don't have pet hair all over like some crazy people with got pet hair on all their clothes and stuff. She's just here, chilling.
So it works out. Like, yeah, that's the perfect relationship.
It works out. It is, because, I mean, you know me well enough. Like, if I came home and saw, like, my cat on my couch, I probably would have a heart attack right at the front door.
Oh man, thanks for sharing that story, because I know it made me laugh and it's hilarious, and I know people at home just got a kick out of that. I think we covered everything. Is there anything else you want to add that we might have missed, or anything you want to plug, or a website or anything like that?
I have no website. I have nothing to plug. No, just be the event planner. Thank you for the opportunity.
I appreciate it. All right, well, good looking out. I appreciate you. Thanks. I'd like to thank our guests for coming on today. And if you'd like to be a guest on the show, send an email to otap@writeme.com. Follow the conversation on Twitter by searching the hashtag OTAP, that's OTAP, or following us on Twitter at OTAP Show. You can find the show on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Android users can listen to the podcast on Podcast Republic. Just download the app and search OTAP Show. On behalf of our guest, I'm your host, Corey, and I'll see you back here next week on the Air Podcast, starring you.